Namaskar. Today we are going to discuss some basics of bacterial staining procedures. See, there are many videos to discuss regarding varieties of bacterial staining procedures like monochrome staining, differential staining, cell wall staining, and so on. And in those staining procedures, while discussing procedure part, there is always mentioning of some common steps, basics of which are needed actually for better understanding of all those procedures. That's why this is an attempt to discuss regarding some basics involved during bacterial staining procedure. Here are some of those basics, rather important things which anybody needs to know to understand details during bacterial staining procedure. I have derived around about 11 different basic points enlisted in the slide, like grease-free glass slide. Usually during discussing bacterial staining procedures, we make use of this word, take grease-free glass slide. But what exactly is this? How to know that it is grease-free? If it is not, how to actually make it grease-free? All those basics will be discussed here in this topic. Second is bacterial suspension. What is it? In which suspending medium it is prepared? Then nichrome wire loop. Why nichrome wire loop? What exactly is this used for? Then glass marking on the glass slide. Where should be the marking? How should that marking be on the glass slide? All those details will be discussed in this topic. Then bacterial smear, some details regarding bacterial smears will also be discussed. Air drying of smear. Why to air dry? How to air dry? Heat fixation. What is fixed? How does heat help in fixation? Then staining and using stains. How one can use stains or stain solutions for staining of bacterial smears. Then water washing of stained smears. What exactly is the procedure used during water washing? Decolorization. Although this step is not universal in every staining procedure, wherever it is, we need to know what exactly is decolorization. How is it done? What are the basics behind the decolorization step? Those parts will also be discussed in this topic. Then aseptic technique. Take suspension aseptically. We use this sentence to discuss procedures. But what exactly is aseptic technique? That also is to be known for clear understanding of bacterial staining procedures. So all those basics we'll be discussing. There are major 11 basics involved in bacterial staining procedures. First say is grease-free glass slide. Here in this slide, I have shown one plain glass slide. This is the glass slide which is used for observation of bacterial smears under microscope. So when we need to know grease-free glass slide, what exactly is this meaning? What does it mean? Grease-free glass slide means, suppose you try trickle down some amount of water, keeping slide inclined, and let that water flow down. If suppose total surface of a slide is covered by this flowing water, and if a slide is not grease-free, then it will look like this. You will see some water drops accumulated on the surface of a slide. Some portions are there where there is no water, and variety of the sizes of accumulated water can be seen on the glass slide. If after allowing water to flow down the glass slide, if it appears like this, then one can immediately understand that this slide is not grease-free. The surface of this slide is greasy. Surface of this slide is oily. So this kind of surface is of course not suitable for using this type of a slide in staining procedures. So slide should be grease free. Means what exactly is to be done? If we see our slide of this type, then first thing, you clean this slide with the detergent powders available at the basin, at the sinks, wherever are available. You clean this slide, means you have to apply that detergent powder onto the slide. You rub that slide, make that slide moist, apply detergent powder both sides, rub that slide, and wash off that detergent by putting this slide in a water flow. Simplest way. Or if it is more fatty, then either you can dip this slide in the chloroform, or you dip this slide in ethanol, absolute alcohol, for a while, take it out. Once you take this out, means first you clean that slide with the detergent, then you expose it to chloroform or ethanol. Take this slide out, then don't touch the surface of a slide with your fingers, because our hands or fingers are also oily. If you touch the surface of a slide, cleaned surface of a slide with your fingers, then you may again make that slide surface oily or fatty. So you don't touch. Hold that slide in your fingers edge-wise. Okay. And then let it get dried there itself. Or if you want to dry it faster, you hold it near the flame. That will give you a fat-free or grease-free glass slide. Means if you let that water trickle down again, then that water will flow from the surface of this slide. For example, if you let it flow like this, if you let that water flow from the edge of the slide from the top, and then suppose if total surface of a slide is covered like this with a water film, if you let that water trickle down, then you will see this slide will be having a uniform thin layer of water on the surface. This indicates that the slide is grease free. So this way we can make our slide grease free, and we can check that the slide is grease free. Understood? So this is what is taking grease free glass slide. Second point is using bacterial suspension. What exactly is bacterial suspension? You have to use small glass tubes like this, usually in microbiological practicals. Glass material of borosilicate type. Usually a glass material resistant to heat is used. Smaller tubes are used, and these tubes are plugged with a cotton plug. Then there is a solution in the tube. This solution is usually 0.85% NaCl solution. In 100 ml of water, if you take 0.85 grams of sodium chloride, dissolve it, the solution is 0.85% NaCl solution. This 0.85% NaCl solution is required to have osmotic balance with the bacterial cells in the suspension. Means this is the most safe solution for bacterial cells. Cells are not harmed, and this system together is then known as bacterial cell suspension. So this bacterial cell suspension is used during bacterial staining procedures. Then is nichrome wire loop. In this slide, I have shown two nichrome wire loops. Each nichrome wire loop has 5 parts. Part number 1 is a holder of this nichrome wire loop, which is made up of ebonite, or heat resistant plastic. Second part is a metal holder, which can be made up of, say, bronze or stainless steel. Third part is a screw cap on the metal holder. This screw cap has small hole through which this wire can be pierced in and can be held properly, perfectly at the tip of this metal holder. Then fourth part is actual wire, which is made up of nichrome. And the fifth part is the loop portion of this nichrome wire loop. All these 5 parts make together a nichrome wire loop. So this fourth part and fifth part is actually made up of nichrome alloy. This nichrome alloy is a mixture of nickel and chromium. There is purpose for selecting this nichrome alloy for microbiological practicals. The first and the most important purpose is this nichrome alloy is inert material. Means when you bring this nichrome in contact with bacterial preparations, then it doesn't cause any harm. It doesn't react in any way. So it is inert that way. So this is the first and the important thing behind selecting nichrome alloy for preparation of nichrome wire loops. There are 2 more reasons for selection of this nichrome wire. One reason is this nichrome alloy gets hot quickly and gets cooled also quickly. During microbiological practicals, we need to sterilize this nichrome wire loop. So this nichrome wire loop is made hot and then cooled also, because hot wire loops you cannot use directly to touch bacterial preparations because cells will be killed by heat. So they should be cooled enough. So heating and cooling time should be minimum. Nichrome is a kind of an alloy which heats quickly and cools also quickly. That's why this nichrome is selected for microbiological practicals. This wire is a nichrome wire. Holding this nichrome wire with a loop at the tip, all these 5 parts together are named as nichrome wire loop. Now this loop portion can have variable sizes, averaging to 5 millimeters plus or minus. Now when you dip this loop portion in any bacterial suspension, and if you take it out, then you can see within that loop there is some thin film taken in this circular loop. Like usually if we dip a spoon and you take it out, whatever quantity we take is known as spoonful, or a cupful quantity, glassful quantity. So when we dip loop in the suspension and take it out, whatever film of suspension is seen present in this loop is known as loopful quantity. Many staining procedures use this word, take loopful of a bacterial suspension. So what exactly loopful means? Dipping this wire loop in a suspension, lifting it out, and having a thin film within this loop is taking loopful of a suspension. Then comes a glass marking on a glass slide. This is a plain glass slide shown. When we prepare bacterial smears or when we take bacterial preparations on the glass slide, they being semi-transparent or transparent, after air drying, we don't usually see where exactly is this bacterial preparation located on the slide. So to exactly point out the location where we have applied that bacterial smear on the slide, it is necessary to mark that slide first. This marking on the slide can be done by using 2 types of markers. One is using glass marking pencil, which is actually having a wax pencil. So if your slide is a bit hot, then you comfortably can apply that glass marking pencil to mark on the glass slide. Or then you can use glass marker pens. There is a pen with glass marking potential, so you can use those pens of any colors. So for marking that slide with a glass marking pen or pencil, suppose if you started marking from here, you can mark it either in the form of a thin circular ring or in the form of a square also. If suppose you start marking it here, then you keep your marker or a glass marking pencil rotated on the surface of a slide, and then you will get this kind of a mark produced or created on the glass slide. When you do it, this is a glass marking on the glass slide. Now if you prepare smear, then you get it, you air dry that smear, and whatever you do, where exactly you have put your bacterial suspension can be understood by looking at that glass marking on the glass slide. Then is preparation of bacterial smear. What is smear? Is spreading of bacterial suspension in thin film on the glass slide. Is preparation of bacterial smear. Actually, when we use oil immersion objectives in microscope, the lenses have very less focal length and a very sharp focusing is required. So the preparation must be thinnest possible. So to have that thinnest possible preparation, we spread bacterial preparations on the glass slide, and then we use that preparations ahead in the subsequent procedures. So spreading of thin bacterial suspension with the wire loop within the mark is preparation of bacterial smear. Now, mark on the glass slide should be at the lower side and your bacterial smear should be on the upper side. This is usually a practice of preparation of bacterial smears. Then comes a step of air drying of smear. Here are two photographs shown. In this upper photograph, you can see there is a moist spreaded bacterial suspension in this glass marked portion, and you can see some water also getting accumulated over here. If you hold this slide for a while in air as it is, then you can see water from this preparation is evaporated automatically in air, and it becomes thinnest possible layer on the glass slide, allowing the water part or moisture part from the bacterial suspension to get totally dried off is air drying of smear. Then comes a step of heat fixation. See what and for what purpose there is need of fixing cells on the glass slide. During staining procedures, in most of the times, we come across with a step of, say, cleaning it with water. So if cells are not fixed onto the glass slide, it is possible that these bacterial cells will also be washed off from the surface of a glass slide. So to not to happen this, to allow bacterial cells get stuck to the glass slide, get fixed onto the glass surface, whatever procedures are used are known as fixation procedures. There are two ways of doing fixation. One way is using heat treatment for fixing, or the other way is using chemical fixatives. There are many chemical fixatives with the help of which one can fix bacterial cells on the surface of a glass. So either procedures are used for fixation. In most of the times, we are using heat fixation part. What exactly is this heat fixation and what does it do? When you do heat fixation, that time the water part which is present in the interface of a bacterial cell surface and a glass surface, that is also dried off, and that is how this dehydrated cell gets stuck to the glass surface. When you let water flow on the smear from the bacterial smears, then because of a partial dryness of the bacterial cell surface and partial dryness of a glass slide within this interface, the cell doesn't get removed quickly by water flow. So it remains stuck to the bacterial slides, it remains stuck to the glass slide surface. That is what is known as heat fixation. Now how exactly it is done? Here I have shown one glass slide on which there is a glass marking at the back side, and here there is this side, here there is a bacterial smear air dried. Okay, and there is a flame of a Bunsen burner which is having a blue flame, of course. Simply you have to hold this slide with a smear upside and a mark portion lower downside, and pass this slide twice or thrice through the flame. Simply you have to pass with the speed as I have shown you here in the diagram. You have to simply pass this slide twice or thrice through the flame and then cool it. This is what exactly is heat fixation part. Then comes staining and using stains. To have a comfort in staining procedure, there are some bridges available in laboratories. We also can prepare a bridge. Simply you have to take two longer batons, and you can put those two batons on the sink, and you can put your slide over here. Or anywhere, wherever you feel it comfortable, you can put your slide with a smear portion upside. With a smear portion upside. Marking should be at the lower side of a slide. Smear should be at the upper slide. And then whichever stain you want to use, that is available in the form of stain solution. So that solution you can trickle onto the surface of the smear so that the complete area of a smear is flooded with the stain solution. You can see it here in the diagram. There is one purple colored stain, violet colored stain in this dropper. It can be a dropping bottle also instead of this dropper by any means, or can be a pipette also, or a glass glass tubing also. So through those things, if you let that stain get trickled on the surface of a smear, it should be trickled enough to flood the total area of a smear. It can be this stain or this stain. Now once you stain it, suppose this is where you have a colorless cell. This is one colorless cell. And suppose if you stain it with this purple colored stain, then bacterial cells get stained purple in color. Or if this colorless cell is stained with, say, this red colored stain, say safranin, then cells get stained red in color. So doing this is known as staining or using stains. Understood? Flooding smears with the required or selected type of stain solutions for required period of time is known as staining or using stains. Now that during this time, stain present on the smear shouldn't get dried off. That's why you have to flood it enough with the stain solution on the smear. Then is water washing of stained smears. What happens when we flood smears with enough amount of stain? That time there is much excess of the stain present. Whatever amount of stain is required for staining of cells will be absorbed inside the cell, will be bound inside the cell. But what about extra amount of a stain present outside the cells? That also should be removed. So simply by using water wash treatment, what is known as water washing, you can remove excess unused stain from the smear from glass slide. What you have to do for this? Simply you lift this slide having stain already on it from the slide bridge and hold it inclined to any gentle water flow. It should not be very heavy or it shouldn't be very less also. In a gentle water flow, if you let this slide keep inclined, then this water will start flowing from the top, and when that water will flow from the smear, whichever unused stain is there, that unused stain will get dissolved in water, and this water will take that stain off from the smear. So you continue this trickling of water from the slide, and you can see at the bottom of the slide, when the water drop trickling is colorless or as it is clear water, then you can say that excess unused stain from the smear has been removed. So this is known as water washing of stained smears. Then comes decolorization. See, decolorization step is not universal for every staining procedure. There are some staining procedures for which some specific decolorization steps are required. So if you apply any decolorizer, what is decolorizer? Which will remove stain from the cells also. Water washing can remove unused stain outside the cell, but decolorizers can remove stains from the cells also. Ethanol, for example, can be a best decolorizer, or 20% acid can also be decolorizer. So when you apply ethanol or 20% acid on the stained bacterial preparations, then you can see those stain molecules trapped inside the cell are removed through ethanol or are removed through acid also, and cell gets totally decolorized, colorless. Cell appears colorless. So this is known as decolorization. Then comes a step of aseptic technique. What is aseptic technique? The technique which is done in an environment without involvement of microbial systems, without involvement of bacterial cells, is known as aseptic technique. During bacterial staining procedures, usually 3 such aseptic techniques are involved. Sterilizing nichrome wire loop. When we discussed about nichrome wire loop, I told that time that there is need of sterilization of nichrome wire loop. So a nichrome alloy is selected which gets hot quicker and gets cooled also quicker. But how exactly is nichrome wire loop sterilized? Because if you don't sterilize, then it can be possible that there are lots of unwanted microorganisms present on the wire loop, and then those will interfere in our procedures. So you have to hold this nichrome wire loop inclined in a blue flame so that the complete length of a wire gets red hot. Or if you are holding it horizontal, then slowly you have to put this loop ahead, sequentially push this loop ahead so that the total length of a wire gets hot. This is the way we can use for sterilizing nichrome wire loop, and then you have to wait till it gets cooled enough. Then taking loopful of suspension. Now when you have to take loopful of a suspension, this is a tube in which you have bacterial suspension available, and these tubes have glass at the tip, has a cotton plug. So there is a technique with the help of which we can remove this cotton plug with the right hand and the smallest finger, the gap in between the smallest finger. Suppose if this is my right hand and this is the smallest finger, so there is gap in between this smallest finger. So this gap you can use for holding a cotton plug, and then you can remove this cotton plug holding your bacterial suspension tube in a left hand. So holding this cotton plug in the gap in between the small finger and the palm, you can take it out, and this is how you can remove plug from this glass tube. And this all technique has to be done in presence of a burner. When it is put on, when the fire is put on to this burner, then doing this in the area of a burner is taking loopful of suspension, doing it aseptically. Now once you take this cotton plug, it will be available in the gap in between the small finger and the palm, and then this is a wire loop. You can insert this wire loop holding that plug still in our hand. Don't put that plug elsewhere on the table or anywhere. Then holding that plug here in the hand, you can insert your wire loop, sterilized wire loop, straight into the tube, cooled enough, straight into the tube to take loopful of suspension. When you take it out, then you have to put this plug back onto the tip of this tube. So doing this near the burner in the area of 6 inches in the periphery from a burner flame is known as doing it aseptically. So taking loopful of suspension is, this is all. Then preparing a smear on the glass slide. What you have to do is, you should keep your glass slide, grease-free glass slide, ready, marked. And when you take loopful of suspension aseptically like this, then holding that slide horizontal near the flame, you can spread the loopful of suspension on the glass slide. So this is what is preparing a smear on the glass slide. So all these things, when we do near the flame or in ultraviolet chamber, the chamber which is already made sterile by putting UV light on and then putting normal light on and switching off ultraviolet light, if you perform this practice in ultraviolet light chamber, then also you are doing it aseptically. Understood? So this is all doing in presence of a burner or in well sterilized UV chamber is doing it aseptically. So these were all actually basic things which anybody wanted actually for understanding of bacterial staining procedures. Thank you one and all.